Call the meeting to order. Roll call.
Chairman Kelly.
Present.
Legislator Quackenbush.
Present.
Legislator Diamond. Legislator Whites.
Present.
Legislator Bienak.
Present.
Legislator Duchessi. Legislator Wheeler.
Here.
Legislator Isabel.
Here.
Legislator Patel.
Here.
All right. Stand for the pledge, and after we'll have a moment of silence for Madeline Taylor and 27 years of service. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Next, is there any public comment to come before the board? Hearing none, we'll move right along. At this point, I'd like to have Deputy Chairwoman Wheeler present a proclamation to the Katina family.
If you could come up, Jean and Nancy and Sarah. She'll get through my flowers. Oh, that's my cat. Your view. Okay. You want to come over here? Okay. Thank you. This proclamation, Montgomery County Executive Proclamation, whereas the County of Montgomery is proud to recognize those individuals who have given back to the community and deserve their unending thanks each and every day, and whereas Tom Katina has spent the past 8 years as the only doctor and surgeon in a 435-bed hospital in the Sudan Nabu Mountains, where he has operated on people with diseases, soldiers with battle wounds, villagers with injuries from bombings while living in the hospital and remaining on call 24/7. And whereas Dr. Katina, a native of Amsterdam, was named one of Time's 100 most influential people this past February and received the gold medal from the National Football Foundation last December for missionary work and making it his life's goal to improve the lives of those around him and to honor his Christian faith. And whereas Dr. Katina, in 1982, graduate of Amsterdam High School and a graduate of Brown University and Duke University School of Medicine, who has spent 15 years in Africa volunteering in the Sudan and previously working in a hospital in Kenya. Whereas Mr. Katina has brought great honor to his hometown of Amsterdam and also to Montgomery County, adding to his family's legacy of love and devotion to the world and all those who live in it, which is perfectly exemplified in his selfishness and noble work in the mountains of the Sudan. Now, therefore, be it resolved, County Executive Matthew L. Ossenfort and the Montgomery County Legislature hereby proclaim Tuesday, July 28, 2015, as an official date in Montgomery County to honor, recognize, and pay tribute to Dr. Tom Katina and thank him on behalf of the people of this county for his dedication, bravery, and life service as a humanitarian.
That is beautiful. That is
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir.
Want a picture?
You want the legislators? Why don't we come in? Barb, why don't you come in too?
Everybody else is gonna come out.
Would you? Space.
All guys in the back. Joe, you're up front.
Get up here, Megan.
Which camera are we looking at?
I don't know. I'm looking at Rick right now.
Just look at all of them.
Oh, I didn't even film.
Okay.
One more? Good.
All right. It's very hot. We're breathing on you. Thank you so very much.
Okay. Next is a presentation by Corey Nellis on the Mohawk River Watershed Plan.
Good evening, gentlemen. I'd like to introduce Dave, I'm sorry. I'd like to introduce Dave Mosher. Dave Mosher is the president of the coalition, the chairman of the coalition. Very instrumental in getting this project done, getting it off the ground. I included a couple things in here. This is just a brief synopsis of the plan, and then we have an executive summary here for you guys to review. So I was asked to come to the board tonight and just give a brief, Martin says. I'm not good at brief, but we'll give it a shot. But just a brief overview of what we did here and what we accomplished. A lot of you guys were here when we did the initial grant. The district did write the grant to do the watershed management plan. The grant was $700,000 and it did need a municipal sponsor. Montgomery County was the municipal sponsor for the coalition. The coalition is comprised of 14 soil and water districts. If you turn to your executive summary here, in that executive summary it shows the list of the partnering agencies. I think that's probably one of the biggest things to recognize that this wasn't just done by the district. This was a huge undertaking by the Department of State, Department of Environmental Conservation, USTS, you name the department, you name the environmental organization, they're there. How many people are on our?
When we started, we had 40 people on our watershed advisory committee, 40 agents.
40 agencies on the advisory committee. You know, so it was a major undertaking. I am on the executive board, and so we handled the day-to-day operations. We did hire a program coordinator, Lynn McIntyre, who did a fantastic job. He is still working with the coalition, and in fact, he's getting ready to submit another grant on behalf of the coalition. So, yeah, you can all look at this. You got the visions and goals. I put on the top of here is our website. All the information on that plan is available on the website. We also have a copy of the CVs of the entire written plan. It's in excess of 400 pages. So we did print out, what, 200?
Oh, yeah, about 120. Yeah, 200 euros.
We printed out 200 copies of the plan. So if anybody wants a written copy of that document, just let me know and we'll get you a written copy. They're in storage. You know, I don't know how many paper copies we'll need, but I encourage you definitely go to mohawkriver.org. That's a very simple website, easy to remember. And just look at the plan. Some of the impressive things in there, you know, I give you the base information in there, what each chapter contains, for the amount of tables, charts, all the maps, incredible amount of maps. We had a lot of GIS tools put in there and a lot of GIS mapping. We spent a lot of time in you know, each county had a crew go out and do a watershed analysis of every stream segment in the county. And then we sent that into Stone Environmental put all that stuff together, summarized it. The Bergen report, which went and did all the studies for each individual village and every township. They came by and I think their report was close to 500 pages. So we're supposed to have a document that's only that big, and just the stuff we got about, you know, individual towns, villages, cities, all that stuff is, you know, almost 500 pages. So, the one I brought was the first one in Montgomery County, city of Amsterdam. So you can just look, the Bergman came through, they went through all the plans, all their zoning, everything for every town, every village, and documented what they found, where the weaknesses are, where the strengths are in the watershed, what we're doing, whether it's erosion control, stream bank, stormwater management. So if you name it, we got urban, forestry, agriculture, just a wide array of stuff in there.
Hey, if I could just ask one question. One thing that's come up is there's water leaks in the city of Amsterdam. Are you working with the city or any?
No, I don't do any public works projects. So we don't get involved in public works or infrastructure or those kind of things. That's a different ball of wax.
All right, sir, thank you.
Infrastructure.
Yes.
Any other questions for Mr. Nellis?
Thank you, Corey.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm not done yet. Maybe we sit down? I can stop.
Sorry about
Sorry.
You asked if there were any questions. It's usually at the end.
Barbara,
No, you were
forget about
very
it.
good.
I can stop in the middle here and let her ask her question. What do I know? We'll get to the expedited version of this. And you can go on the website and look at it. But, one of the things that we got is each year they're doing an application. And in phase one, I did put on the second page here. In phase one, we're doing a flood study from the mouth of the Schoharie Creek all the way up through the entire drainage basin for Schoharie County. To determine, what we can do in the event of a flood, what needs to be done, what kind of program we need to get that cleaned back up and make it a little better. Stormwater management program, we're doing a lot of green infrastructure in Oneida County. And then an invasive species study in Fulton, Hamilton, and Saratoga County. So, one of the things that I think is important is that, and I did contact, at phase one, I contacted our board of supervisors, mass office, everybody, and, town officials, and said, if you guys have a project you want to participate in, it's a 50-50 match. So this is pretty, daunting when you look at a project. Phase two, we were awarded $665,000 for road ditch revegetation. They put some boat washing stations in, and then headwater restoration for Riscony, the Riscony River, I think it is, Riscony watershed. Riscony Creek. This year, we're doing a $1.8 million grant, and that includes some major stormwater implementation up in Johnstown. Then there's two projects in Orange County, and then there's a project on the Cobblestone Creek remediation. So I think one of the things that I'd like to stress, and probably most important, is that if Montgomery County hasn't come forward with a project in any of the three grant applications. It'd be nice, we sponsored the plan, we wrote the plan, and I realize that a 50% cost share, but in-kind service, the city of Johnstown is putting forth a lot of time, and they're gonna do all the design work in their own in-house. They're gonna do a lot of the construction in-house, so they're gonna use in-kind services for their match on their portion. The other thing is that they have extra match, that match can go towards the rest of the grant too. Schoharie County is putting a significant amount of money into the watershed study already, so this just gave them an opportunity to expand the program. And they were able to come all the way down to the mouth by consolidating these applications. And the CFA consolidated funding application is a huge thing, and the talk,
Wow.
oh,
It's only a decade.
in the governor's office, yeah, I'm way out on that here, But, it's a huge thing. So consolidating these applications, we took 3 applications that may not have ranked out on their own very highly. We put them all together and they ended up with a really strong application. So, yeah, we are going to put another one in next year. I'm sure of that. I'm 100% sure we're going to continue this. So I would encourage everybody, whether you're in the village, town, city, come, think about it over the following year about projects that you can implement for any kind of watershed or waterfront revitalization program. I mean, there really isn't a limit to what you can apply for on this. Well, there is a limit, I should But you know, the projects are a broad spectrum.
So can you do bank stabilization and things like that?
Yeah, definitely stream bank stabilization, nature trails, walkways, green infrastructure, removing parking lots at some malls, and the mall in Atlantic County, taking the parking lot out and making it perforated blacktop with a green infrastructure and a stormwater infrastructure underneath so everything goes down and doesn't run off. Oil collection systems. Like I said, up in Fulton, Hamilton County, Saratoga, they're doing boat washing stations, so when they pull the boats out of or before they put the boats in the lake, they can wash the boats and sanitize them before they, reduce contamination. We're doing stream bank or roadside ditches when the town's going through and dig out the road ditches, towns. Hamilton County, Fulton County are doing seeding program. And then done doing invasive species, so they're, we'll log all of the invasive species and see where we are on invasives and other major topics. So, like I said, a very broad spectrum of what you can do with these funds. And it'd be great if Montgomery County had a project. Yeah, well,
I'm sorry.
I don't know, I'm already.
You have a question, Tom?
Well, for instance, in the village of Fort Plain, on Clinton Avenue, my house happens to be at the top of the hill. So I'll just bring it up as an example.
One won't sit still?
The bank over the last 60, 70, 80 years has been fixed at least 3 times that I know of. You know what I'm talking about? It's, right where that nice and easy with it.
Right.
And already, now that they fixed it and spent another, I think they put $250,000 in it, and already it's starting to swell up again with all the time and stuff after the flooding that occurred. Can you actually have a grant to fix something that was just fixed?
Yeah, it's a
I mean,
priority.
because it's a matter of time, they're saying we're just going to close it down next time.
Right. Everything's prioritized, the grant applications go in, so there's no limit to what you can apply for. How it ranks out, I'm sure that might be part of the ranking process and part of your ranking criteria is how important is it and how much money has the state spent there already and what's going to be the end result of that. Can we fix it and stabilize it? So.
The reason why I had asked about the infrastructure and the water system is, even though I know that the city may be addressing part of it, I can't see how it's being the issue that's just been minimally shown, and if you do a little bit more research, how it wouldn't be a water and soil issue, and if it would be environmentally a better fit for a large part of the municipality in Montgomery County. Is that something that you could work with, or?
Yeah, well, Dave does a lot of urban.
Right.
I think one way you could only approach that would
Yep.
be whether or not it's an environmental issue, that there's basically something that threatens water quality issues. The thing about this comprehensive management plan that we completed is basically it goes through did evaluations of conditions of the watershed, all throughout the watershed. The watershed is 3,460 square miles, okay? So it takes in all 14 counties, all right? But it takes in and evaluates and assesses the conditions, present and existing conditions of the watershed. What we do is we found areas that needed to be protected and areas that needed to be improved, and areas that need just to be left alone. If they're fine, if they're pristine areas, we won't touch them, we'll protect them and so on. What you're dealing with there with the city of Amsterdam is strictly an infrastructure issue. If it gets to the point where it's moving silts, moving sediments, moving pollutants, and then dropping them into the Mohawk River, then you've got an issue. You're basically talking about the transfer and transport of drinking water. That's a different issue. That's an infrastructure. If it goes to stormwater, then it's an issue we can talk about. You answer your question?
You did answer my question, and thank you so much for what you do.
Does this affect failing dams or anything like that, like the Pioneer Street Dam that was taken down years ago?
Dams are, there is issues and discussions of dams within the report. Actually, DEC, I believe, has a full complete dam study out now that you can look at. Because we looked at the Hinkley Reservoir and so on, and things of that nature, obviously Gilboa Dam and the impacts of that and so on. But there's specifically as far as what dams need to be fixed or what dams are threatened and so on, that's not in this report.
We did an inventory, and there was a map and a plan, an inventory of all the dams in Montgomery County and then all 14 counties. So We didn't get into the infrastructure and how good they are, but we did find them all and locate them, put them on the map.
So Amsterdam's watershed is in Galway, right, the Glen Wild? Is that one of them? So I think to answer Barbara's question, if there was an issue up there where it all begins, right? That's not an infrastructure issue, but if there was an issue with the reserve there, that's where this,
Right, if they were having phosphorus loading, or sediment and silt being carried in there, or, some other pollutant, and then that's where we come in and do erosion control measures, or find out where the phosphorus loading comes from, where the source of pollution is coming from. So those are the kind of things that we work with.
And we look to correct those issues, not to transport.
right?
Yep.
Inflow and infiltration though into, say, sewage lines, that's not something you would work on because that's still an infrastructure problem.
That's going to be like a combined storm sewer
Yeah.
overflow or something. Well, that's definitely a water quality issue, combined storm sewers.
Well, like in the Palatine Sewer District, we have a big inflow infiltration problem which causes our overloads and then we end up shooting it into the river from the sewage, and then we can find,
You got water coming into the system.
You got water-
going out into the system.
right.
Yeah, that's again, that's an infrastructure.
All right, I'm done.
Anybody else?
Nope.
How about you, Corey? Are we? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You need a copy, Martin? Sure.
Sure.
Make a copy of that one.
Thank you.
If the next time you're down this way, you could drop off, if you got extra paper copies.
If I have any paper copies in the office, I have a CD.
Okay.
I can do the CD, or we can definitely bring down a couple paper copies off here.
Okay.
All right.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night, gentlemen.
Thanks, guys.
Moving along, communication. I don't have any communication.
Yeah, there's a couple of things. Everyone has the flyer for the NISAT conference. I really would like to know by the end of this week if you're going to go, because there's a deadline for the early bird registration. So if you could let me know, that would be great. And I also have a thank you card that I just thought was really nice, and I just wanted to share it with everyone. This gentleman called me a week or two ago, and he's from Pennsylvania, and he was looking for some information about Montgomery County for one of his neighbors that happens to be Amish and is moving up to our area. So I talked to him for probably 10-15 minutes, gave him some information about the county, showed him about the website and so on and so forth. So he wrote me this thank you card, and I just thought it was really nice, and I wanted to share it with you. It says, Cheryl, a little thank you for taking time to talk with me about obtaining a county roadmap and telling me about Montgomery County for my Amish neighbor. Contrary to what is often said about bureaucracy, it was a pleasure having you listen and offering help. That was very nice. Very nice.
Any other communications?
Did it on purpose because you want the meeting to move along.
Thank you. Moving along, I'll look for a motion to approve the minutes of the previous meeting. Tom? Barb? Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Carried. Next, a motion to accept budgetary transfers.
All right.
Tom? Barb? Discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? We caught up.
Yeah.
Next, I'll look for a motion to accept the procurement record. Tom?
Motion?
Terry? Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained. Moving along to old business. I'll look for a motion to remove from the table Resolution 84, which is a resolution authorizing the land use permit for FMCC property for SUNY Research Foundation Weather Station. Sponsored were Wheeler and Quackenbush. So I'll look for a motion to remove from the table. Barb? Tom? All right. Discussion on removing it from the table. Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained. Now, discussion on the resolution.
All of the concerns have been addressed.
Yes, and actually I have a letter from Dr. Swinger dated July 8th where he indicates that Fulton Montgomery Community College has no other use for the land involved with the weather station for the 25-year time frame that the weather station would be there, knowing that that was something that the legislature was concerned about and wanted to know more. Furthermore, Fulton County looked into doing a seeker on this. This is a type 2 action, so no seeker would be needed. It would be exempt, so we're good there. We're finalizing some minor things with getting the permit language ready to go, and I think we are in good shape for the legislature to look at it and consider voting on it at this point.
I have no questions, but I thank President Swinger for being here if we had him.
Any other discussion items on this resolution? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, motion carried. Do we want to bring that back from the table?
The only commentary I have, which we may have to put it off, just so I can say, I've met and started with the non-bargaining elected policy. So we can let it die and I can bring up a whole new policy.
Would you like to discuss it further in other discussion after all the other resolutions? Or
I'm good with
or do
time management. So
Are you pulling your sponsorship, Barb, or are you?
I can pull my sponsorship
Okay.
and I'll bring it up at a later date.
Anybody else wish to sponsor the resolution? Okay, it died. Next is the resolution for Bonadillo. Do you want to make a motion to bring it from the table?
Yes. I'll second.
All right, discussion on removing from the table. Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained. Now discussion on the resolution.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to offer an amendment just to clarify the compensation. For a total of 1 year, 12 months, it will not be over $5,000. So saying that, it's basically going to be $416.67 per month for 12 months, no more than $5,000 for the year.
I'll second the amendment.
Discussion on the amendment.
So,
I think you go ahead.
I'm good with the amendment, I just would like to hear from our county attorney where we fit that in. I mean, we're going to amend it, but shouldn't we know in the language of the body of the resolution where that falls?
Yeah. Terry, could you just clarify where you would like that language added to the resolution? So a motion to amend, adding the language $416 a month, not to exceed $5,000 a year for a period of 1 year. You just want to add that as another resolved clause?
Yes.
Okay.
Or in the final further resolve, could you
Yeah.
just add it on to that? Where it says, said agreement shall not exceed 5,000, take the period out and put a comma and continue on?
Sure.
It's not my amendment, so I'm just offering up.
Yeah, that's fine.
Do you like that?
Yeah.
Okay. So we need to vote on
I have a question. So the services that we're paying $5,000 for now, in addition to what they're doing, is that definitely,
Well, they're going to be doing
Yeah.
specific work for us as legislators.
concerning
And
the
it-
job specs for the RFP?
correct. And they also have a letter, there's a letter attached to the resolution. And it lists basically 5 things that they're going to be offering.
Excellent.
Okay?
Thank you.
Sure.
All those in favor of the amendment?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Okay. Yes, it passed. Now the resolution as amended. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstain? Carried.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Now on to new business. First is a resolution endorsing grant application Fullmont Snow Travelers, Inc., New York State Office of Parks and Recreations and Historic Preservation. Sponsored Kelly and Wheeler. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstain, motion carried. Good. Next is a resolution authorizing the county executive to sign application for funding to the New York State Office of Park and Recreation and Historic Preservation Recreational Trails Program, sponsored by Kelly and Wheeler. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstain, motion carried. Next is a resolution authorizing the county attorney to perform legal services for the revolving loan fund and rescinding resolution 155 of 2011 and resolution 208 of 2013, sponsored by Wheeler and Kelly. Discussion.
What did those two resolutions were rescinding? I'm sorry, go on here.
The private attorney.
Oh, previously, the IDA had hired outside counsel outside of the county to
Okay.
perform these tasks.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, motion carried. Next is a resolution authorizing the county executive to enter into a contract renewal with Frontier for upgrades to bandwidth at the sheriff's office, sponsored by Kelly and Patel. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, motion carried. Next is a resolution authorizing county executive to sign intergovernmental memorandum of agreement between New York State Division of Homeland Security and Emergency Services and Montgomery County, sponsored by Kelly and Diamond. Discussion.
2/3.
Hearing none, would you like us to do roll call so it's nice and clean?
Yes, please.
Okay, roll call.
Chairman Kelly,
Yes.
Legislator Quackenbush,
Yes.
Legislator Diamond, oh, sorry, Legislator Whites,
Yes.
Legislator Beniak,
Yes.
Legislator Wheeler,
Yes.
Legislator Isabel,
Yes.
Legislator Patel.
Yes.
Pass.
Okay. Next is a resolution amending the 2015 operating budget, donations for Youth Day 2015, sponsored by Kelly and Diamond. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor?
There needs to be
We need
There
a
need-
member.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, I looked at my notes.
gave you notes.
You did. I'll look for a second to an amendment to increase the line item by $1,600 for a total of $4,050.
I'll second.
Barb? All right.
Just, can I just ask one? It was a wonderful day, and I'm sure it's,
Donations came in after we
that's
put the
fantastic.
resolution up. And she actually has $500 more, so we'll be doing another resolution.
That's
But it hasn't,
fantastic.
she hasn't received it yet.
Discussion on the amendment?
Just to make it clear, so everywhere it says $2,450, it'll now say $4,050,
Yep.
right? Okay.
All those in favor of the amendment?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained? All right. Discussion on the resolution as amended. Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained? Carried. All right, next is a resolution approving the retirement days credited monthly for elected and appointed part-time and full-time officials, sponsored by Wheeler and Whites. Is that right?
Yes.
Discussion? Discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, motion carried. Next is a resolution adopting introductory local law F of 2015, a local law adopting the Montgomery County emblem, sponsored by Whites and Diamond. Discussion.
Full board?
Full board.
Full board.
Full board of all those present.
All right. Next is a resolution authorizing the county executive to award contract and execute amendment number 1 with Ryan Biggs, Clark Davis for replacement quad sidewalk stairs components of FMCC Priority Campus Safety Project, sponsored by Diamond and Wheeler. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, motion carried. Next is a resolution authorizing the county executive to award contract and execute change order number 1 with Joseph P. Mangino, Inc. for master key system component of FMCC Priority Campus Safety Project, sponsored by Whites and Patel. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, motion carried. Next is a resolution awarding bid to Omaha Electrical, Inc. for the replace quad lighting component of the FMCC Priority Campus Safety Project, sponsored by Wheeler and Beaniac. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, motion carried. Next is a resolution awarding bid to Topline Ltd. for the wayfinding signage component of the FMCC Priority Campus Safety Project and authorizing the county executive to sign agreement, sponsored by Whites and Diamond. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, motion carried. Next is a resolution you okay, Cheryl? Okay. Next is a resolution authorizing bid to Gallo Construction Corporation for the replace quad sidewalk stairs component of the FMCC Priority Campus Safety Project and authorizing the county executive to sign agreement, sponsored by Whites and Wheeler. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor? Opposed, abstained, motion carried. Next is a resolution approving a lease agreement between HFM BOCES and Fulton and Montgomery counties to facilitate solar photovoltaic system power purchase agreement project to benefit HFM BOCES, sponsored by Whites and Patel. Discussion.
I just wanted to say all of these resolutions, as an alumni and a supporter of education, these are great. It's exciting to see them go forward. So.
Any other discussion? Roll call.
Legislator Whites.
Aye.
Legislator Beaniac.
Aye.
Legislator Wheeler.
Aye.
Legislator Isabel.
Aye.
Legislator Patel.
Aye.
Chairman Kelly.
Aye.
Legislator Quackenbush.
Aye.
Passed.
Next is a resolution approving installation of solar array project on FMCC campus property, sponsored by Patel and Isabel. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor? Opposed, abstained, motion carried. Next is a resolution adopting the 2015-2016 FMCC operating budget, sponsored by Whites and Wheeler. Discussion.
I just want to, I've been around for a while now, and I just want to say thank you to Dusty for the great job that he's done since taking over his leadership. I think the college, after his 51st year, am I right?
Correct.
Is probably in the best position that it's ever been to take care of our locals for their educational opportunities. And I just think you've done all your leadership there, not, you know, you're the, so I'm giving it to you, but you can send it back. And I think you've done just an absolute fabulous job. And for how many years you've stayed within reason. And we used to come every year, it was, we need more, and you've always done it. So.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained? Roll call, is that what you wanted? Would you like it?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Legislator Whites,
Aye.
Legislator Beniak,
Aye.
Legislator Wheeler,
Aye.
Legislator Isabel,
Aye.
Legislator Patel,
Aye.
Chairman Kelly,
Aye.
Legislator Quackenbush.
Aye.
Passed.
Next is a resolution. Resolution appointing members to the planning board, sponsored by Whites and Wheeler. Discussion.
I'd like to make a motion to amend, to insert the name of Betty Sanders in the resolve clause as an alternate member to fill a vacant term expiring 12/31/2015.
Discussion on the amendment?
Just so there's no confusion, there's actually, the resolution calls for Mark Hoffman. We're not replacing Mark, we're adding to another because there's two alternate positions.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the amendment?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained. Now on the resolution as amended, discussion.
Full board.
For right now, that's the only thing, unless you have someone for District 1 you can add.
Full board.
Okay.
Full board?
Aye.
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 Next is a resolution amending the 2015 what?
Did you vote on the resolution itself, or just the amendment?
Yeah,
You
that's the
did.
one we just.
Okay, sorry, it was behind.
We did, right?
Yep. All right.
Next is a resolution amending the 2015 operating budget, New York State Environmental Protection Fund Local Waterfront Revitalization Program, sponsored by Whites and Wheeler. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, motion carried. Next is a resolution approving abstract of audit claims, sponsored by Diamond and Whites. Discussion. Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, motion carried. Anything else to?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Yep.
I'd like to make a motion to rescind resolution number 74, 2015.
Second.
Discussion.
I think it's worthy of some discussion. Resolution 74 of 2015 actually appointed, or was a resolution to appoint, to fill a vacancy in a district in our board seat, planning board. And just so people understand it, I think it's important that when we first reduced the size of our planning board from 15 down to 9, it was because of the new structure of government with 9 legislative districts. And I believe the intent of that was to have, as we all agreed at the time, each one of us be able to submit a name from our legislative district to fill those seats. Unbeknown to us at the time, when this resolution was made, it was appointing a person that didn't live in that district. In actuality, we find out later that it was an inappropriate decision to make because it goes against the face of what the local law creating it or in the state statute, both tells us we can do. So our rescission of this tonight is based on that purpose only. It's not based on a person or the person in the position. We can care, of course we care who's in the positions because we want people that are going to serve and serve right, but it's not, should not be looked at as a reflection on that person at all. It should be looked at as us backtracking and doing something right that we did wrong to begin with. Through no fault of our own, I don't think, but when we do something wrong, we have to make it right.
You need a 2/3 vote.
Excuse me.
Motion to rescind, you need a 2/3 vote, so.
All right, so we need 6.
Any other discussion? No? Roll call.
Legislator White,
Aye.
Legislator Beniak,
No, out of respect for District 3 legislator not being here, I'm going to vote no.
Legislator Wheeler,
Yes.
Legislator Isabel,
I'm going to abstain from that vote.
Legislator Patel,
No.
Chairman Kelly.
No, out of respect for legislator Diamond not being present as it was his appointment.
Legislator Quackenbush,
Yes, out of respect for the law that we're supposed to abide by, I have to support it and say yes, because we're not doing the right thing. Yes.
Under other, I just have a discussion item.
Okay.
As it failed, I would just like to say as well that, it doesn't matter whose appointment it was. I think we as representatives of Montgomery County and as people that are supposed to enforce the law, we should respect the law opposed to one of our colleagues on the board, because that's our first responsibility. And additionally, I'd just like to point out that having and acknowledging the fact by legal opinion, by our standing counsel, that this in fact is an invalid appointment, every single decision that the county planning board makes is invalid and could be challenged in a court of law and would likely be overturned because it's a body that was not constituted properly. So, I think moving forward, we should all know that basically our planning board, nothing they do at this point moving forward until we rescind this resolution appointing this person, it's a null and void matter and it holds no weight because it's a falsely constituted board. Just want to point that out for everybody.
Thank you.
I agree with everything that Ryan just said, and I'm not going to belabor what I said, but does the county attorney agree with that?
Well, I think that clearly there's ambiguity in the law. If there's this much debate over it either way, there's clearly an ambiguity. And when that happens, you have to go back to the enabling legislation, which allows you to create a law and create a planning board. Going back to the law that enabled us to do so, specifically states in there that a planning board shall represent a broad cross-section of interests, which should include a broad geographic span. Interpreting the law as written with the way it's been implemented, which is the third key in looking at analyzing the law, how has it been implemented? Every single planning board member appointed up until this appointment that has brought this issue forth has been from the district. So the way the law has been interpreted is consistent with the enabling legislation from the state, which would make the planning board law valid and would make the appointment so far okay. Having a member not from the district, and the question that arose is can a legislator appoint someone from any district that they want to represent their district? It creates a question on the validity of the law as enacted. So to answer your question shortly, it is an issue, and it is something that should be addressed.
But we as legislators offer up to our colleagues the name. We don't actually make the appointment, right?
The legislature itself confirms the appointment.
Confirms it, so it's,
Yeah.
it's a name. And I just want to be very clear. I am certainly not opposed to anybody that our colleague from this district wants to put up from that district. What I'm opposed to is not following what is perceived to be the law and what could jeopardize any further decisions made by that planning board, if challenged.
It certainly
Doesn't
could
mean it's
create-
going to be challenged.
It could create a question of fact, certainly.
In respect to third district legislator, I would have I absolutely support his choice that he mentioned the last week for the District 3 who lives there.
Me too.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have a question, why was it allowed to continue? Is that what we let
Just an error, so we're trying to correct it tonight. And that way, if this was rescinded, then next week, the legislator could have put up a name. So it's just out of
So at
respect.
the time we voted last time, you were not aware of that law, is that what the problem is?
The person was pretty close to the line.
What's that?
No, she did.
You did not know what
There's
she
a
did?
residency requirement.
Okay, but you were not aware of the fact that she was in violation of that when we voted on it?
I didn't personally.
No,
I didn't.
I didn't know.
Wrong.
I didn't know the address of the person, I just assumed it
How
was.
how did it happen? That's what I'm questioning.
There was a nomination made in April, and out of respect for, I think, if any of us were to make an appointment, I would hope, to fill a vacancy on planning board in our district, we would yield to that legislator, assuming that the person was qualified to hold that.
Correct appointment.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't think anybody here intentionally wanted to break any laws, but once you're made aware of something that you've done wrong, I think it'd be a little different if we didn't know it. Now we're made aware of it, I can't live with the
So
decision.
now you're saying we found out about it, which now we all know, and you're saying now, and now the county attorney is saying.
We've decided to bring it to light,
Of the
yes.
law.
Right. I certainly, again, would not oppose the name that he had brought up, Mr. Reichert. I support it wholeheartedly because it's from the district. So, but in order to do that, you have to get rid of the resolution that we created, Resolution 74. It's the only way we can legally do that.
Now I understand. Thank you very much.
If you have somebody to do, I'll set
I mean, after hearing what we just heard from the county attorney, I wouldn't be opposed. I'm not going to sit here and want to revote things all night. Does that change anybody's?
If we're going to allow his other appointment that he requested.
Oh, absolutely.
I would do it tonight
I would
if we
do it
could.
tonight.
We just can't because,
He hasn't actually
hasn't made an
formally made the appointment yet.
He has.
I just want to say that I respect what you and Ryan are saying. I just didn't feel comfortable without Roy here. Roy has got some strong reservations and, you know, I didn't want to, out of respect to the District 3 legislature.
I don't know if we're able, I don't want to beat it up all night, but if you guys are willing to do that, we could do it, I'd put his resolution up for the next meeting.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't have a problem with that.
Actually, my personal feeling is that if it's in violation of our law, then we should vote to rescind it. I was not there. Okay, that's why I'm asking you the questions, Mayor.
I second your motion.
So you have to actually bring the motion to reconsider
Motion to reconsider.
because he was
If it
voting on
makes
the
any
other
difference,
side.
I would vote to rescind it.
Somebody that was voting on the other side needs to bring up the motion to reconsider. If we're going to do it again tonight.
Motion to reconsider.
I'm not doing it to start fights with everybody. I'm doing it to, I think we've all cleared up a little deeper what we may not
I would
understand.
second Martin's decision. Again, now it's very much clarified.
Discussion.
Wait a minute. Is there a motion on the table for
Motion to
reconsider?
reconsider. Myself and legislators.
We need a two-thirds vote.
Yeah. Need 2/3 vote on motion to reconsider.
I have a
We
question
need
for
a
the county
majority.
Just
attorney.
majority?
We only need a majority, and there is no debate on it.
I have a question for the county attorney. Are you still in negotiations with District 3 legislator Diamond over this? Has there been a settlement or?
District 3, I've had some discussions with him about this. One thing that has been discussed is completely revising the planning board law. My opinion is if we were to do that, we would need to dissolve it, redo the law, reappoint everybody.
Roll call.
Is this on the motion to reconsider, or is this?
Yes.
Spencer, yeah.
Motion, I did.
And
Yes.
there's
Chairman
only-
Kelly,
Yes.
Legislator Quackenbush,
On the motion to reconsider, yes.
Legislator Whites,
Yes.
Legislator Beniak,
No.
Legislator Wheeler,
Yes.
Legislator Isabel,
Yes.
Legislator Patel,
No.
Pass.
Discussion of the resolution.
I'd just like to make a statement that I don't see that there's any ambiguity to the law. There are two laws that create our planning board, one at the county level and one at the state level. And what we're saying is, well, if I only read the county law, I don't understand the whole thing. Well, you haven't read the whole thing. And that's not to say we have to follow both of those laws. And that's not to say that if we pass a law here on whatever matter it is, we still have to follow state law, the state constitution, the U.S. Constitution, and federal laws. And there's no ambiguity when you read the two together. And if you're reading one and not the other, it's not the whole
Further discussion?
situation.
I just wanted to say I've reached out to Legislator Diamond a few times, and I would support his decision, whoever his appointing is. I just wanted to verify I agree with everything that you said.
I mean, I guess my thoughts to any legislators who think that they're doing a disservice to Roy because he's not here. He's well aware of what's going on. And look at it as not a disservice to him, but protecting him. And what we've done, and doing it right. But, I mean, we have the ability right now to do the right thing. And if this can't pass, after this much open dialogue in the last 20 minutes, when it comes up again, I'm going to abstain, and you can continue to break the law. Because I'm not going to keep beating this up.
What I want to ask the county attorney is there any chance that this interpretation may change? Or would you doing that?
No, I actually circulated a memo law last week on it. I've done a lot of research on this, and I stand behind my well-researched opinion.
Roll call.
Clarify again one more time what we're voting on.
Yeah.
Rescinding resolution 74 of 2015.
Okay, so who was the last sponsor?
I was the sponsor of the rescission motion.
Legislator Whites.
Aye.
Legislator Beniak.
No.
Legislator Wheeler.
Yes, please.
Legislator Isabel.
Yes.
Legislator Patel.
No.
Chairman Kelly.
Yes.
Legislator Quackenbush.
Yep.
Pass.
Did it?
No.
It needs
Needs
two-thirds.
two-thirds.
Needs 2/3 to
I
fail.
didn't check the 2/3, sorry. Fail.
Okay, is there anything else to come before the board?
Yes, a motion to adjourn.
Second.
What's that? What's that?